Welcome back to Minding Her Business. We're joined by Taylor Tsakoniatis, who is a co-host of 103.1 Fresh FM Morning Show and a host of Nights TV. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for
She
having
wears
me.
So many hats. We're so excited to have her here. So for the people that are listening that maybe don't know a lot about what you do, or can you kind of explain how you got into it and what you do exactly?
Yeah, so I work on the morning rush with Mark at Fresh Radio. That's my morning. And then my afternoon is with the London Knights. And I get to record fun content with the team. I also do updates for the week, games ahead. It's always a fun time, and I'm really lucky that I'm able to do it. So this is can I just say, this is so weird. Like I'm usually the person interviewing, so like I might be a little awkward here, but this is so fun.
You're already perfect. Oh. And I'm new to this, so I mean, you can give me any pointers.
You're doing great. I'm nervous here.
So we had to talk about this when we were planning this session. So what time do you wake up at to do your morning show?
Okay, so I wake up every day at 3:45. So that's every day, and when you start waking up just a bit before, like before the alarm.
Oh yeah.
That's 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like looking at the ceiling at 3 o'clock, and then I'm in the studio hopefully by 4:45.
Do you film anything? Like, do you have to be in like full glam getting there, or
so
can you?
Luckily enough, I know the days that I have to film.
Okay.
They give me a heads up. They are amazing for that, or else I would be a mess. But they do give me a heads up. But it's really nice because either way, like right after the show, I will get into filming with the Knights, or I'll film something for the show. It's usually once a week, which is good. Good for me.
I feel like when I wake up, even when I have to go to the gym early in the morning, I don't want to talk to anyone.
Dreadful.
So how do you get that energy up when you have to wake up that early and be on the radio?
First of all, nerves.
Okay. Fair.
Feeling unprepared is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
So when I wake up, it's more like, you gotta go, girl. You gotta get out the door because you gotta find out what happened overnight, and you gotta tell everyone this morning. And even if I have a bad sleep, let's say, and maybe someone else that day had a bad sleep, I still gotta make it a good morning show, right? Because they might be trying to escape from something, and my storytelling has to be on point.
Yeah.
And so I try to remember that because the energy just has to come from somewhere. So.
And do you find that's what gets you through it? You just the nerves and just making sure, like, I mean, it's your job.
Yes,
too,
yeah. So I
helps.
will always be nervous, and it's the weirdest thing. But I think that's what keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
And it keeps me excited, and I love my job for that reason because it's never a boring day. Like I never know what I'm walking into, but I just have a great time, and I try to make the best of it. So like, that's my favorite part about it as well. Just getting that energy from nowhere sometimes. I don't know.
That's incredible. I need a little touch of that in the morning.
Got you. Anytime. You want to wake up at 3:45?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
That can be you. Okay. So I know you went to TMU. I also went to TMU.
Yes.
So you have an incredible sports media program at TMU. Do you think that really prepared you for what you're doing today?
You know what? I think what it prepared me, yes, it did. Mm-hmm. I think what stuck with me the most throughout those 4 years was that they said, sports media is always evolving and changing. They taught me to adapt well to change.
Okay.
Alongside like learning the skills, the technical stuff, whatever, but like learning to adapt quickly and do really well in those types of environments, that's what it prepared me best for. So I'm very lucky, and we know like the media is always changing, right? Yeah. So I mean, I loved my 4 years there, amazing. But yeah, I think that's like one of the biggest takeaways from those 4 years.
So my boyfriend Chris, he plays for the TMU hockey game or
men's hockey team. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So were you the commentator for that?
So I was the rinkside reporter.
No way.
Yes, I was, because I remember faintly hearing about your boyfriend, and then when I saw you two started dating, I'm like, hey, I think I know that guy.
You can't forget the last name.
Playfair. Playfair. Exactly. You can't forget it. So I think at some point I must have done like an interview or something like that, but I loved being the rinkside reporter. That was another thing about TMU. You had so much opportunity to get out in the field and try something new. And that was the first thing I tried, rinkside reporting. And I loved it. So that's kind of where the sports, the desire to be more into sports media broadcasting came in, which I'm so glad I actually did.
Is that only in your 4th year, or do you get to do that for a couple years?
No, I did that year 1.
No way.
Year 1, I did that.
Oh my gosh.
You had to make sure, I think you had to do like a little test to make sure you weren't gonna like swear or
Be a dud.
anything. Like, but once you do it, you're like, okay,
I've got this.
I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do this. So then you just keep going back because the adrenaline is so fun. I don't know.
Did you get to pick to be rink, like on the side, or?
Yeah. So you could do all the roles. What's really nice at TMU, they have their own control room. It's very, very nice. So you could be a director, you could be a producer, you could do whatever you wanted. But I did those roles, and I didn't get the thrill.
Yep.
And not to say they are the most important roles because they operate the show, but I really wanted to be in front of the camera. There was always something about it. I don't know.
Well, you do such a good job at it.
Oh,
So
thank
you picked a good one. So how did you get from there to what you're doing now? So obviously that's in Toronto. So you're building these connections in Toronto, but now you're in London. So how did you get to where you are now, doing nights and Fresh Radio?
So COVID
Okay.
stunted. Like it stunted all my plans.
Yeah.
I was networking in Toronto, making all these connections, and then the pandemic hit. And there was just this sense of like, okay, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
You can't do much here right now. Like you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So I moved home, and following year, internship year, you got to make it big, you got to make it good, because this is what you have to show for when you go to employers, right? So I came home nervous. I'm like, where am I going to do this? And I said, you know what? I had such a great time rinkside reporting. I'm going to try it with the London Knights and see if they've got anything there for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking you. I sent an email, had an interview, and immediately they were like, yeah, like that'd be awesome. And then they're like, this is what we see. Let's do Nights TV. And I'm like, I'm in. So that was my internship. And like 4 years later, I'm still doing it. And it's the most fun.
That was the start of Nights TV.
So that wasn't the start of it.
Okay.
I took over it.
Okay.
And I took over it from the person that I now work alongside. So it's amazing. And I'm so grateful because we can talk about it all the time. But yeah, like from Nights TV, I did it for, I still am doing it. But then there was a point where I started sending like B-roll, just sending tapes and just to make sure like, hey, this is me. Like, if you've got anything for me, radio stations, anywhere, TV stations, anything, please take me. I need a job, guys. I need a job here. Because everybody wants free work.
Yeah.
Everybody wants free work,
Absolutely.
right? And I was hitting a point where I'm like, no, I'm ready. So I sent it off to Chorus. I was a producer. I was a news producer at AM 980 CFPL Global News. I would put stories together for a morning show. And then that was my job for about 8 months. I got headhunted, and then I got right into Fresh Radio.
That's incredible.
That's the story. Like literally, it just went by so quickly. But like, I mean, I'm so lucky, honestly. A side note, like being in London, it's a small market.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky that I got in somewhere that I'm super happy with. And like, despite the wake up time, it's awesome.
Well, regardless, obviously you're really good at what you do. So
Thank you.
clearly that's why they picked you.
You're killing it.
So Nights TV, they have a pretty passionate fan base. I mean,
Oh yeah.
do you have any favorite or standout moments from like recording on Nights TV?
You know what? Nights TV is when I can talk to the players and after a really good win or a really tough loss. And there's not one particular moment. Like I could say, yeah, when we went to the OHL final and we won. And then, I met like, every year they do, the London Knights induct a new class into the Don Brinkley Hall of Fame. And I get to meet the London Knights who paved the way for these young guys here, right? And I get to talk to hockey legends. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I could say that, but the moments that mean the most to me are seeing the guys be able to answer my questions with such grace and class. And that's my favorite thing to do. It's honestly, those post-game interviews mean everything to me, and it helps with their learning too.
I was going to say, I mean, if these gentlemen make it to the NHL, which is, the dream, then they're going to have to do these all the time. So you're really prepping them for all of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's really fun to be a part of it. So they're also helping me. I learn every day. So.
And are they pretty good about being interviewed?
Oh,
and they
yeah.
like it?
Yeah. You know what? We I mean, they come to us very young.
Yep.
So we try to get them exposed to media as much as we can, and they do so well. Like, I think we lucked out. Like, for the years that I've been there, we have lucked out. Everyone's been so awesome, and like that's what makes my job easier and more fun. So we also get to do TikToks. I make the TikToks with the London Knights, and they are creative.
Are they good about that too?
They love it. You ask one of them, hey, do you want to host a TikTok? Do you want to go around and ask someone a question? They're like, yes, please. They all want to do it. It makes my job really easy.
Do you do any media training with them, or is it just kind of learn as you go?
So with them, it is going to be another person that does the basics, the learning. But with me, they get to practice.
That's awesome.
And I get to practice too. Like, I feel like I said, I'm always learning. So whenever I get an answer that I'm not sure of how to give a follow-up question to, I just smile and we just start joking around. Like, it's fun. But I mean, that is junior hockey. When they get to the big leagues, I'm not sure if they could do that. But for now, we're both learning.
And it's live, right? There's no, if you make any mistakes, it's going up.
No,
right?
no. So with Nights TV, was really nice.
Okay.
It's forgiving.
Okay,
so
amazing.
With the young guys, we can't necessarily put them into a live situation. But I mean, there's Rogers TV where they have to do those interviews.
Okay.
And they do a stellar job. Like, I watch those interviews. I'm like, you answer those questions with like conviction. Like, it's awesome to watch.
Incredible. Okay, so what would you say has been your biggest challenge so far?
My biggest challenge, like, just in my career,
Yeah.
I think finding my voice. Like, where do I interject in conversation on the radio?
Yes.
What's the appropriate follow-up to an answer? I think that's been a challenge for me because, there is like I said, I'm always nervous. By nature, I'm a nervous person. So to do what I do, it's just boggling why I chose this, but I love it. And there's something about it. So I think for me, the biggest challenge has been finding my voice and, using it in the right moments.
Yes.
And have some more confidence. I know that sounds like really cheesy, but like that has been a challenge for me. And I think a lot of people might not understand that. Like, they might think, oh, you're super confident to do the job that you do. It's actually the opposite. I feel like I'm a passenger for life. I always say that. I'm always on a ride. Don't know where we're going, but I'm so glad to be there. So, I mean, the challenge is, having the confidence, saying things with conviction. And I'm really trying to hunker down on that this year. So,
Do you have a radio voice? Off the metaphor.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Can we hear a little tidbit of it?
Oh, gosh.
Just introduce yourself.
Welcome back to the Morning Rush. Mark and Taylor here. It's 8:30. We're talking about, I don't know, Band-Aids. I needed a Band-Aid before I got here. That's like, you kind of go, you know what? My co-host Mark is the one that has kind of held my hand and taught me how to do a lot of it.
That's incredible.
I credit him for everything. This guy he's a veteran. Like, I couldn't have been paired with someone so different from me, but so willing to teach me everything. I'm a sponge. I love it.
How long has he been in the industry?
15 years.
No way.
And he's going to be really shocked that I remembered that.
If you're listening, she remembers.
Yeah, I did remember somehow, but.
Did you learn that voice? Like, how did they teach you how to use that voice? I know you learned it from Mark, but in school, like, did they try to tell you how to find, like, using your voice in a good way?
In conversation, my voice is different.
Yeah.
But make sure your conversation is never how you announce someone when they're coming out of a tunnel. That's how, they always said, remember, think of like you're trying to hype up the crowd.
Okay, yes.
But not in like the way that you maybe would hear at a hockey game. But you know what I mean?
Yes.
Say things with a smile. That's always going to help you because it's just positive. Even when things go awry, you say it with a smile. No one knows it even happened. They won't know. They won't hear it.
I'm going to need some media training after
I got
this.
you. What do you need to know? There you go. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you so much. Do you have any short-term goals over the next few years? Or are you just you're doing incredible things right now. Are you kind of happy where you are? Or, obviously you're happy where you are.
No. I actually wanted to say this because side note, I got a list of questions before this happened. But saw this question and I actually paused for a second and I was like, where am I going? Like, what am I doing? A long time ago, I said to myself, I would love a job in media, one job. Like, give me a job. I will be a production assistant. I will do whatever. And then I thought, like, bigger things are happening for me in a small market. A lot of people are saying to me throughout university, you're going to want to stay in Toronto because there's no jobs where you live. And I have to tell you, I'm able to score 2 awesome roles, 2 great, like one company, one amazing hockey team. I'm so comfortable right now. But then I was like, oh, but maybe in a couple years, that itch to move forward and do something will come. And you know what? It got me thinking. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. But for goals right now, I've achieved them. Like, this is something I worked for 4 years. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And I think there's something to be said about actually enjoying where you are.
I completely agree. I mean, honestly, there's, you can always look forward and have these goals, and that's great. But for you, I feel like so many people would die to be where you are today and doing the things that you're doing. And students who will hopefully be listening to this are like, I want to be just like what you're doing today. So I think
I've had people come up to me and I've seen them start doing the volunteering at Rogers TV, and they had these they keep in touch with me, and it means the world, because I was the person approaching someone and saying, hey, like, I love what you do.
Yes.
How do I get there? And it was like, now I'm getting people coming up to me. It stops you. And that's why I say, like, just enjoy where you are too, but chase your dreams. Of course.
Honestly, to piggyback off that, I just did a presentation at one of my classes. One of my professors at TMU asked me to do a presentation to his class.
Oh my God, how cool.
It was incredible. I was so scared, and I did it. And I'm like, there's no reason anyone should be listening to what I have to say right now, but it was so cool. And the students, I mean, they're only 2 years younger than me, and they were, following me on LinkedIn and asking to connect. And one of them, I had a coffee chat with him the other day, and he was just asking me questions as if I'm like this huge mentor.
That is so cool.
And it was the best feeling ever.
Good for you.
But good for us. I mean, students asking you too, like, it's just such an incredible feeling.
Who knew? Who knew?
This should be an ad for TMU.
Yeah. Who knew this would happen? Like, it's exciting, but it does make you think, like, okay, I need to enjoy all my hard work.
Exactly.
And I'm doing that. So for my short-term goals, I'm going to enjoy this until I get an itch to get out of here and do something else. But my life is here.
Yes.
My family's here. That's who they make me whole. Like, I love them. So.
Absolutely. I think that's great. I think there's a huge piece to be said about just living in the moment and enjoying where you are now. And then you can think about it in a couple of years. If
Totally.
You don't always have to, like, keep going. You can just, if you're where you want to be, live in it.
You can chill.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think that's a great lesson.
Stay in the present. It's just, I feel like there's such a rush, and I think that comes from social media. Oh, you got to get in, get out, do this. No. Just enjoy yourself, because I'm pretty sure that 2 years from now, you're going to say, wow, I probably should have taken it a little bit easier, should have been a little kinder to myself, probably should have just enjoyed it. Enjoy it.
I love that answer so much. You could not have answered that question in a better way. That is incredible.
But it did get me thinking, like, what are my goals? What are my goals? Enjoy where you are.
You are absolutely killing it. So what's the biggest lesson you think you've learned from either your journey in school, like just being in the media? Like, if you had to pick one, what do you think your biggest lesson is?
So many. Because, like I said, there are so many moments that I wasn't so kind to myself. And I'm not trying to get too deep here, but
Get deep.
I think we need to, because this is an industry where you will sit there and pick yourself apart. Like, you will be your harshest critic, and that is me. And it's so important to have friends and family uplift you, not lie to you about how you do or what things look like on camera or whatever the product that you're working on is. But I think the biggest lesson is just be kind to yourself. I know this sounds like so crazy, but like, when you're not, you go into the next day to work and you don't do so well because you don't believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself and what you're doing. Say things with conviction. And, you know, again, like it all kind of ties back to what I said earlier, like using your voice. You've got one, use it. Use it in the best scenarios. So I think that would be it for me. Yeah, be kind to yourself. Don't, you know, like just be kind to yourself. Give yourself time and like grace. I feel like a lot of people don't, and that tears your career down. You tear your career down when you do that. So, I mean, a lot of people can sit there and say it's a lot easier to say something mean than it is to say something nice these days. So, I mean, that's it for me though.
I think being kind to yourself is such an important lesson, and there's so many of us, whether it's, you know, our physical appearance that we compare ourselves on social media, or also comparing our lives to other people's lives. Like we're all at different points in our lives and we're all getting into different places, and your journey is going to be different from someone else's, and you shouldn't compare yourself or feel like you're behind because someone's in a different place.
And like uplift the people
Exactly.
that are in and applaud them.
Yeah.
You're in a great place. You seem happy. And by the way, social media is a lie.
It's all a lie.
It's all a lie.
And I work in social media.
Yeah, I was like, but in a way, but like, you know, like it's a lie. Like someone may appear in one way, but truly, like their life is another.
Oh, of course.
And so like social media is a lie. Don't be influenced. I love the videos that come across my feed. Let me de-influence you. I'm all for it. Let me de-influence me, please.
Oh, it's not like someone's going to say, I laid in my bed all day today and ordered Uber Eats all day and didn't move a muscle, and here's my video of that. No, they're going to show you that they went out to this place and
I did this, and this, and I got a hike in before I went to do another run. Like, get out of here. Like, I love the days that I can rot in bed. And I can marinate there and just stay horizontal. I just love my life. Like, but you know, rarely do I get those moments.
Absolutely.
But man, when I get them.
If I was waking up at 3 a.m., I would be enjoying those moments for sure.
Yo, let me tell you, if someone interrupts my sleep on the weekend, they will face my wrath. Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm joking.
That's incredible.
But not really.
Okay, so my last question for you is, if someone were to be getting in either sports media or any kind of media, radio, anything, what do you think would be your number one piece, or if you have a couple pieces of advice, like to help them get kick-started or maybe put them in the right direction to get started?
Okay, well, first piece of advice, your reputation precedes you. So before you walk in the room, people already have an idea of you. Make sure if it's a bad idea, fix it. Do everything you can, but also don't people please. Be yourself. And I think being kind, leaving good, lasting first impressions is the key to this industry. It's not what you know, it is who you know. And people will remember you for being the kind person. Be that person, because I'm telling you now, there are so many times where I'm seeing people get jobs and immediately I'll ask them, congratulations. I'll hear the story about how they got the job. It is not what you know. It is who you know. So make sure you connect back on LinkedIn. You see someone in the same industry as you may not know them. That's okay. This is not like a friendship. Like, it's just, hey, like, this is what's going on in my industry. Be really active on LinkedIn. I know this is like an ad for them, but like, I'm just saying, like, because
LinkedIn can sponsor us if they'd like.
If they'd like to, they're absolutely welcome to. But I'm just saying, like, staying present on social media is another part of this job. So if you show your interest in sports media through posting, opportunities will happen for you. And that is something that I need to work on. I need to be more on that stuff. But I have to tell you, like, I see a lot of people getting opportunity because of how active they are. And recruiters are wanting people that have the following.
Honestly, a big part of my presentation when I was presenting to that class at TMU was about building your personal brand and how important it is. And I've started posting on LinkedIn. I try to post at least once a week. And
I see your posts. They're my favorite.
And
I look forward to them.
That's how my professor reached out, was via LinkedIn to talk to the class. I'm going to be a panelist at a Guelph marketing conference in November, and probably when this episode airs.
That's so exciting.
And that's all through LinkedIn. And I'm not trying to say this is like a self-promo, but I mean, if I wasn't posting on LinkedIn and showing up on LinkedIn, I don't think I would have gotten those opportunities. So I think it is so important to be building your personal brand on there.
Yeah, and like I think one thing that a lot of people had said to me before is like, make sure people have a face to the name.
Yes.
I got one of those last names. It's Tsakoniatis that people just like, they're like, oh, the Taylor with the long last name. You can just say, like, give those identifiers. It's important because, especially in this industry, you want to make sure that you're staying so active and they know what you're doing. You're a busy person.
Yep.
Make sure they know about it. If you're looking for a job in sports, that's how you do it. You stay busy online. And you can fake it till you make it. And I don't care if that's bad advice. Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so before we move to our segment, our fun little segment, do you have any last words you want to say to anyone that we didn't cover or anything like that?
I think we need to talk about family.
Start it.
I think we need to talk about our supporters.
Yes.
Because I think that's a big part of my life.
Absolutely.
And it's a big part in a lot of people that are in this journey in sports media, right?
Yes.
They need the support because no gig is too big or too small to not take. And you just need that push from your friends, your family. Be like, yeah, like it's different, but you should do it. Like different gigs will come to you. You may be unsure to take them. Have those voices to help you. I think it's so important. And I think it is totally why I'm here. Totally. Shout out, Mom. The best. But you need someone to believe in you when in the moments that you don't really believe in yourself. And that's my family.
That is amazing. I completely agree.
They're the best. Should I give a shout out to my boyfriend? Is that like dumb?
I mean, I feel like look at the camera and shout him out.
Ben. We call him Boyfriend Ben on Fresh Radio.
Perfect.
Boyfriend Ben. I hope you're not my boyfriend for too much. I'm just kidding. Hopefully we don't have to call you that forever, honey. But no, he's been, like, I never thought I'd be the person to say this, but when you find a good one, you got to praise them because, man, he's a good one. He was the one that told me to go for some of the silliest gigs, and I had the best time. And I had the best time at these gigs because there were ones that I was maybe going to pass up on. Thank God I didn't. It got me to where I am. So you just need that, like, good fan base. And even if that's under your own roof, who cares?
Exactly.
It's the best time.
Well, now I have to give a shout out to boyfriend Chris.
Yay! Boyfriend Chris. I'm going to try to find the interview with boyfriend Chris.
Oh, please, we'll clip it and we'll add it to the social video for
Chris
this.
Playfair.
Absolutely. Boyfriend Chris, you are incredible and honestly has been such an incredible support for me. I am a little bit particular when it comes to my business and, you know, talking about it and asking for advice. And if it's not what I want to hear, sometimes I put up a little bit of a fight and he deals with it.
We love a good fighter though, because let me tell you, that means you don't take no for an answer and you keep trudging along. And we need people like that in this industry. So I like that even though he gives you the great advice.
He does.
Sometimes we just need a listening ear.
Exactly.
And he's that too.
And you know what? I have taken so much of his advice, and it has really shaped where we are today. So I will say he has been such an important part of growing this business, and hopefully he won't be
I'm
boyfriend
gonna cry.
Chris for
Like,
much longer.
wow. Like, hopefully you're not boyfriend Chris forever.
Yeah, hopefully not.
I always say this, boyfriend Ben, you know what's up. You know that you're not going to be boyfriend Ben for too much longer.
Yeah.
I hope. Please.
Please?
Do I have to ask on the podcast? I am
We'll
going
clip it and
to.
we'll send it directly to him. We'll email it to him.
You know what he said in the car?
What?
He said, whatever you do, don't bring it up. He didn't even say it. I already knew.
Prepped for this.
He's like, don't bring it up, please. I'm like,
Well, too late.
too late.
Here
man.
we are.
Here we are.
And this has been your push. Okay, so now we're moving to a super fun little segment we're going to do with Tay. And we have a bag full of very random objects in here.
Okay.
And Tay is going to close her eyes and reach inside and pick an item and give us a 30
I'm like
second
ready to go.
radio commercial on one of these items.
30 is a lot.
Okay.
Let's do like, depending on what it is, actually,
Okay.
we'll do it.
Okay, there's no time limit. There's no time limit or restraint on this, just whatever feels right for this ad.
Okay. I'm so scared. What is in?
Well, that's a good one.
Oh. We've got no streaks, no bad smells, no stress. We can go, okay, this is the dark. You don't 8. Sorry, guys.
You're
I'm just
good.
going to write it down. You don't want a streaky tan. I wrote what I needed from the pharmacy. Self-tanner. Looks like we're going to Bali, baby. Okay. I know this is going to be really cheesy. I don't care.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be cheesy
Yes.
and weird. Okay, here we go. Take a trip to Bali by using Coco and Eve Bali Bronzing Foam. No streaks, no mess, and absolutely no stress. Live your best life with Coco and Eve.
Done. We need to be sponsored by Coco and Eve.
Yeah, I'm pasty girl. I need this. I actually wrote it down on my phone. Sorry, that was like so cheesy. Should I do it one more time, do you
That
think?
was perfect. Do you want to do another item?
Sure.
Okay, we'll do 2 items.
All right.
Okay.
This is such a unique idea. I don't know. I'm just picking some.
No. I'm gonna pick one for you.
Yeah, how about that?
I want to make it hard. Harder.
Ben loves that one.
How's this?
CeraVe. Okay, so
It was
I
a gift.
I don't talk about it that often, but I need to talk about it right now.
Are you a Swiftie?
Unbelievably a Swiftie. I don't talk about it that often because I know people are like, you're a Swiftie. I am. And if you're not, I don't want to be friends because like when we go on trips to the mall or on a road trip, guess what's going on?
Taylor Swift.
Best of Taylor Swift playlist. That's what's going on, and that's what I'm going to be listening to the entire car ride. Boyfriend Ben, can sing all the words to Lover. He loves that song. He won't admit it.
As he should.
Just gonna.
As he should. I think the best part of this whole thing is that we all have the same name, so clearly something's great about that.
I knew I was like, we're so connected for that reason. Okay. Got a list. Okay. Got a list of things Tay do, not to do, Tay do. Look no further than the Tay do checklist. With 50 tear-off sheets and 21 items, even you can do it with a broken heart.
Sold. I will take 20 of those, please. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was so fun.
Thank you so much for coming on. This was an incredible episode. I could not be happier with the way this went, and you were amazing. And yeah, I can't thank you enough for coming.
You are killing it. You're killing it, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me.
I love this connection that we've built, and I hope we can.
And our
continue.
Tay-do.
And our Tay-do. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Minding Her Business, and stay tuned for the next episode where we'll have another amazing guest to talk about. Bye.